It starts with something small, a movement you almost miss. You're sitting on your couch and you hear it, the sound of paws running. Not the silent, calculated steps of a cat, but the eager, clumsy scramble of something else. You look up, and there it is, your cat, running toward you, tail high, eyes wide, like a dog greeting its owner after a long day. And for a moment, you question reality, because cats don't do that. Cats don't fetch, they don't follow you from room to room, they don't wait by the door when you leave, they don't care. Except, this one does. This is the paradox of the cat who acts like a dog. And it's not cute, it's not random, it's psychology. And today, we're going deep inside the mind of a cat that broke its own rules. Because what you're seeing isn't just behavior, it's identity, it's adaptation. It's proof that even the most independent creature can rewrite itself when the conditions are right. Or wrong. Let's start with what's really happening psychologically. When a cat behaves like a dog, most people laugh it off.
They call it quirky, they film it, they share it. But what they don't realize is that they're witnessing something profound, a complete rewiring of species-typical behavior. Because cats are not supposed to act like this. Evolutionarily, cats are solitary hunters. They're wired for independence, for silence, for patience. Dogs, on the other hand, are pack animals. They crave social hierarchy. They need approval. They thrive on connection. So when a cat starts fetching, following, greeting, it's not just being playful, it's experiencing what psychologists call behavioral plasticity, the ability of an animal to override its genetic programming based on environment and attachment. This isn't evolution, it's adaptation in real time. But here's what makes it disturbing. The cat isn't choosing this behavior consciously. It's being shaped, molded, by isolation, by reward patterns, by the absence of other cats or early socialization with dogs. The cat's brain is rewriting its identity because staying cat-like in a dog-like environment feels wrong. So it shifts, not all at once, but slowly, quietly, until one day you realize your cat is greeting you at the door, and you think it's adorable.
But deep down, something feels off. Because this isn't natural. This is survival adaptation disguised as affection. Now you may ask, why would any cat willingly abandon its nature? Because animals, like humans, will do anything for attachment, even abandon themselves. The choice is never conscious. It's biological. In the absence of feline companionship, in the presence of constant human interaction, in environments where dog behavior is modeled and rewarded, the cat makes a calculation. Adapt or be alone. That's not weakness. That's intelligence. That's instinct. But the tragedy is this. What looks like loyalty might actually be loneliness. As the cat grows into this identity, the symptoms become more complex. It might become hyper-attached, following you everywhere, crying when you leave, struggling to be alone. It might lose interest in typical cat behaviors, hunting, climbing, exploring. It might become anxious in the presence of other cats because it no longer recognizes its own species' social cues. And worst of all, it might not even realize it's living outside its nature. Because when dog-like behavior is rewarded early, the cat's psychology accepts this as normal. Independence feels wrong, solitude feels suspicious. Being a cat feels like failure. This is the psychology of a cat forced to become something else. It's not just quirky, it's a complete identity shift that reshapes how the animal experiences itself. You might see it play fetch and think, how cute. But what you're really witnessing is a cat that learned love is earned through performance. That attention requires mimicry. That being itself wasn't enough.
So what happens to that cat as it matures? It becomes an animal that never feels safe in stillness. They become cats who greet you at the door but panic when you're gone. They become companions who follow you everywhere but can't settle when alone. This is the cost of behavioral adaptation. If early life trained it to be social at the expense of being solitary, then what kind of existence does it inherit? It inherits a life where it's always performing, always seeking validation. Most owners never see the psychological strain. They just see a cat that's more like a dog. They praise it, they reward it, but no one ever stops to ask, at what cost? You might have a cat that can't be alone without crying. You might notice it follows you everywhere, brings you toys and stares, expecting you to throw them. You might think this is love, but what if it's anxiety? What if the cat has learned that stillness equals abandonment, that the only way to keep you close is to act like something it's not? These are not personality traits, they are survival strategies. You might also notice your cat struggles with typical cat activities. It doesn't hunt well, it doesn't climb as much, because psychologically it's oriented toward you, not toward its instincts. It's outsourced its identity. One of the most telling signs is separation anxiety, because cats are comfortable alone.
But a cat that acts like a dog? It panics. It cries at the door because it's no longer operating on feline psychology. It's operating on attachment trauma. And that's not quirky, that's pain. But here's the truth. The cat isn't broken. The environment is. What we're calling dog-like behavior is really just extreme social flexibility triggered by circumstance. The cat didn't fail, it succeeded at surviving in conditions that demanded adaptation. This isn't about judgment, it's about understanding. The cat is showing us that behavior isn't fixed, that nature can bend, that even the most independent creature will reshape itself when connection depends on it. But that doesn't mean it's healthy. The cat isn't choosing joy, it's choosing attachment over authenticity. So if you have a cat that acts like a dog, know this. The behavior was never the problem. The problem was that the cat had no choice. But now you do. You can choose to honor its feline nature. You can create space for it to be independent, to exist without needing your constant validation. It won't happen overnight, but slowly, you'll notice something shift. It starts to play alone. It starts to explore. It remembers that being a cat isn't a failure. Because the truth is, a cat who acts like a dog isn't evolved, it's adapted. And adaptation born from necessity always carries a shadow. This is what we miss when we celebrate the dog-like cat. We miss the loneliness underneath. We miss the identity confusion. And maybe that's the lesson here, that love shouldn't require you to become someone else. So the next time you see your cat running toward you, eager and loyal, ask yourself this: is this joy? Or is this a creature that learned the only way to be loved is to stop being itself? Because cats don't act like dogs by accident. They do it because somewhere along the way, being a cat wasn't enough. Your cat didn't fail at being a cat. It succeeded at becoming what you wanted. But maybe it's time to let it be what it is. Not a dog, not a performance, just a cat, finally free to exist without needing to earn it. This is the psychology of cats who act like dogs. It's not about loyalty, it's about survival. And survival, no matter how adorable it looks, always comes at a cost.